Hello everyone, no respawns, happy Easter, happy Passover, and if you have celebrate none of that, happy the hopeful 4-day weekend that you're enjoying, although we only have one more day after this, but still, it's pretty grand. So in this video, I have made a Recon station. Now, to just demonstrate, because this is important, I put a foundation down, then use the shack stairwell to kind of maneuver the prefab. It was a specific kind of prefab array I used, I always forget its name, and then use that to maneuver it so that I can have it the right height, and then I can just quickly just use the long thin pillar to just squeeze this underneath, and it looks quite nice. So basically, yeah, this video is a Recon station. It's quite fun. Now, ostensibly, you could build this in the middle of nowhere using the Workbench Anywhere mod, and it might be RP work better. However, one, if I'm completely transparent, I wanted to build something in this space here that also has a nice set piece, and with the antennas that this has, it looks really, really nice when you're kind of walking into the settlement. But also, it just kind of, there are loads of, because this is one of the furthest westerly settlements. It kind of fits for me mentally because you've got the raiders nearby and then you've got the gunners as well, so there's lots of enemies that they can kind of spy on. It was quite a fun build, so what I'm trying to do is, I've mentioned before how I use Pinterest quite a lot to get a lot of my inspiration. Now, a lot of the structures you'll see in Pinterest are very cool, but they're kind of difficult to fully replicate on Fallout 4 if you follow the traditional snapping. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a little bit almost less standard structures than I was doing before, you know, kind of trying to think, okay, how can I not snap stuff together? Usually I do it a little bit with, for example, like, you know, kind of boarding up walls and stuff, but I'm trying to push that a bit more, so hopefully that will reflect in my upcoming builds. But it's quite a cool little one, this. I had a lot of fun. I also get to use, as I mentioned a few videos ago, I did the creative crafting stations mod by Toys Out of the Pram, and I do get to use that in the decoration, which is quite cool because it adds kind of just some nice little decoration pieces, which looks really, really grand. Obviously, this can be any factions, though it tends to kind of fit mostly with the Minutemen and the Railroad, just because it's quite scrappy, quite ramshackle, and it's maybe a little bit too tattered for the Institute or the Brotherhood of Steel. Though I might do some Brotherhood of Steel and potentially Filthy Evil Institute builds later on, but don't, you know, maybe the Brotherhood of Steel, potentially not the Institute, because they're a bunch of dicks. So I do obviously slice this video up quite a bit because there's a lot of repetition because of the 4 sides, so I only show you me doing a lot of things twice because you don't need to see me doing them constantly. So as I'm popping the ramps here, I don't make a good use of these ramps, though I feel I should, so that's what I'm doing. They're a little bit annoying, as you can see, to kind of get them. I do actually move that one around a little bit, though you don't see it now, because they're a little bit annoying to get them kind of fully straight. If you can actually snap them together, just as a note, but the problem is they don't actually, like, if you snap them to a floor, they'll actually have a giant gap in between, which is really annoying. There isn't like just a general double ramp, though the NPCs do use them. They actually walk up and down them. So, for example, you could potentially use, like, there are some slightly angled plyboard. However, that wouldn't have the same path thing. So, but it looks cool anyway. I quite like this. On the subject of cool stuff, I bought some things, right? You know, I like to update what I've been buying on Amazon. So I've got a webcam. So I have just bought it. It's arrived. It's set up, kind of. It's a Logitech C920, basically the YouTuber webcam. So I've got that now, which is quite cool. Give it a week or so until I actually have vlogs. So basically the idea being is I've cut my videos down a little bit to 2 videos a week. I'd like to go back up to 3, but I'd like my 3rd video to be something a little bit more relaxing, like kind of like a vlog, some kind of, you know, something a bit more chill. So that way I don't have to, you know, spend an hour or 2 on Pinterest or scouring the internet to kind of get ideas and just kind of go up there. But it would just give me a bit because I have to obviously set up my room. Currently it's pointed at me, and I was kind of playing around with it earlier, and it basically is just like, there's just my bed. It doesn't really have a nice backdrop, shall we say. Alongside that as well, I'll give you a bit more of a Necromunda update, as I've been using my Warhammer 40k models. I've got my a new painting lamp. So basically, my problem is that every time I get back from work, it's way too dark for me to paint. If you turn the, those of you who paint models quite a lot know that you can't actually use artificial light because you can't see the colors. It's really hard to see any detail, and even during the day, it's really hard because the natural light can sometimes be too bright. Whereas what I've done now is I've actually purchased. It's only about 20 quid. If you go on my Twitter, there's a link. I linked it about an hour ago. And it's one of those little kind of daylight magnifying glasses. So they're like, it clips onto your desk. It's a chargeable one. It's about a foot tall. And it has this like little ring light. So it'll spread out the light evenly of the model. So I'm quite excited to use that. Also, it'll double up as quite a useful ring light for lighting for my videos. I was like, oh yeah. Because basically those of you who do vlogs or kind of know how to record know that ring lighting is really, really good for when you actually want to light up your face and stuff properly. So this might double up as that, which is quite cool. So that should come next week sometime. The bank holiday has kind of ever so slightly ruined my Amazon bastards. So this is quite a fun one. So what I'm standing right now, I'm standing on this floor piece. Initially, I was going to build a staircase going up the back. I changed my mind, basically, because that would look shit, and this is the game that doesn't allow us to build ladders properly. So basically, in a minute, I will take this floor piece off and replace it with that internal stairwell, the wooden one, that we used to actually snap on the foundation at the start. So I just you could just basically remove the prefab and just replace it with that, as you will see in a wee second. I do like doing this, with this little plyboard section, like this kind of little, what is it? 8 sides, a bit what, like a hexagon or something like that. Octagon, 8 sides, octagon, like an octopus, David, you dumbass. But yeah, so I like doing this because it's quite a nice little look. And especially with the fact that we've recently discovered these new style railings, which I only discovered like a week or 2 ago, it means I can kind of mix up the texture a bit, which looks quite nice. So this is quite fun. I've been racking my brain a little bit with Sunshine Tidings Co-op, because I've mentioned I'm going to keep mentioning it until I finish the stupid settlement, it's a bit bigger than most of my settlements. Oh, let me just take out the centre, 1 sec. So you take out the floor and roof. I realised that looks shit. And then I can just go to the thingy-majig. Don't forget to take out the floor, and it snaps in perfectly. Look at that. Anyway, as I was saying, so basically, Sunshine Tidings Co-op is a little bit bigger than I would like. So, for example, looking at, say, Hangman's Alley, I kind of got a theme for it, and I can stick to a full theme for the entire settlement. This one's trickier because all of the builds are kind of separate, similar to how Spectacle Island is going, which is cool. However, it does mean that kind of like to mentally kind of complete the settlement is a bit of a nightmare for me. So, I fortunately planned it. I've kind of like mentally divided it into kind of like separate little plots. It's like, oh, right, in this plot, this is going here. In this plot, this is going here. So it should work. So you get 1 or 2 more builds of this next week and hopefully finished in a week or so. But it's been a bloody pain in the arse. Still looks cool, so that's all right. I quite like this. Also needs a lot more colour as well. So just by dint of just the way I've been building, it's very, just a bit kind of dingy. It just uses these kind of your standard shack wood pieces. So I'm trying to kind of insert a little bit more character and colour into it. Not like make it superly flashy, but yeah. For example, this one with its like flashing radar dishes, and I've got a few of the kind of yellowy, what do we call it, the Go Solar mod that adds the solar panels, so they're sticking out, so it looks quite nice. You will see. And you're starting to get what I mean about the slightly like non-standard shape. I'm trying to kind of see if I can just kind of use just basically be a bit more weird and wonderful. So I didn't show you me put the satellite dishes on the top because it was literally just me moving them in. It was boring. But they look cool, and you will see them in the tour. So where are we now? So now we're just going to put some structures on the outside. Now, as a side, so in this part, I'm going to use Aslam's junk walls to add kind of... You've seen me do this quite a few times. There's some kind of piles of, like, boxes and fridges. And yeah, these bits here. Ramshackle fences, I think he's called. So basically, I'm going to eventually make my own versions of this. I've got to bloody well sit down and do it. I've got to finish off my Sanctuary Player Home because it's still got like 5% less to do. I've just been avoiding it, mainly because a couple of people are having trouble with the bubble head and the magazine rack not working. So I have to figure out what the issue is there. Once I've done that, I might either try and do these ramshackle walls, like my own versions of them, because I just would like some more options. And as you can see, they're just so useful for this kind of quick adding character to kind of areas around builds. Because it just looks cool, right? You're just kind of piling up junk as it would. But I will be doing that soon. Well, not soon, in the future. In the near future. It'll either be that, or I'll do my home plate build as well, which I do want to do, but I have to finish my sanctuary home. But I just haven't because it's been annoying. Anyway, there's a tour in a sec. I'm also on the sanctuary home, by the way. People have mentioned it. I know for a fact that Codsworth is getting caught behind the fence, and I am going to remove that fence. So, yeah. Just give me, like, a few days. I've just been putting it off because stupid bobblehead stand has been annoying me. Anyway, so as you can see, it looks kind of ramshackle and scrappy, but also slightly techy. I really, really, really like that satellite dish, and it makes for quite a nice set piece when you're walking in the settlement. Obviously, you can use whatever flags you like, and if you want, like, I don't know, other stuff to signify. If it's the Raider one, for example, you want to use this, you know, the Raider pack stuff, you go for it. It's quite a nice little build. I quite like this. It's quite pleasant when you have an idea in your head and it actually works out, which is quite good. It's always grand. I've put a little guard chair there. That's from one of the, you know, the standard kind of guard station mods. If you just search them, there are loads of them. Just add chairs where you can assign people. And see, it's quite tight on the inside, so I can't have much decoration, but I've also used quite a lot of the creative crafting stations that I reviewed a few days ago. And as you can see, it adds this kind of nice little detail. Just an FYI, that mod does take up quite a lot of your settlement build limit, so be prepared that it will suddenly just shoot up, and you'll have to do either the store weapon glitch or whatever. Anyway, hope you guys like that. As always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. I'll have a new video up soon, and you enjoy your holidays. You will take care.